Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been before. And this is my October wrap up, and it's linked to the hashtag Deck of the Month and the hashtag Deck of the Year 2025 project that Musings by Masha started. So I wanted to talk about the decks I've used this month, new decks that came in, and then deck of the month, and the deck in my bag is the other one. Was one of the new things that Masha started doing. The new decks that I only got two, and this one was one that I'd ordered a while ago, so I am on a no buy. So I have reduced the number of decks that I've bought, but I haven't completely stopped. But I'll talk about that in a minute. But this one I'd ordered before. I'd ordered it a couple of months ago, and it went out of stock, and then they said they'd restock. So I ordered it, and I was waiting for it, and it got delivered, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I've done a walkthrough of this, a full walkthrough, so I'm not going to talk about it much. But it's an Almanac of Birds by Maria Popova, who's apparently quite a famous poet. And there's a really nice little book that comes with it, and it talks about how she got to this oracle. So it's birds plus words, basically. And I'll show you some of the cards. So I've left it kind of in order, and I've just been splitting the pack and taking one out. You don't really need to shuffle. They're very, very big cards, first of all, and they all have a bird on, and it's from a range of sources, but Audubon, the famous he sketched John James Audubon's Birds of America, and he illustrated that book. And it's these kind of scientific drawings accurately portraying the features of the birds, like you get in bird spotting books, and I love bird spotting books. And then it's also got Gould's Birds of Europe and Birds of Australia, illustrated by Elizabeth Gould and by Edward Lear, and illustrations of British birds by Mayer, and Darwin's Voyage of the Beagle, amazingly enough, which Elizabeth Gould illustrated that too. So it comes from a variety of sources, so you do get European birds and birds from the US. Dog hair, sorry about that. Anyway, but they're absolutely lovely, and the text kind of goes over the image, which I really enjoy that. So the stream of the true is formed by drops of doubt. Interesting. But they're really, really nice. Love is an experiment, troughing with doubt, to live without regret, to follow its flow beyond the narrow stream of certainty, riding its ever-rolling billows until all the wounded water in you is burning, burning with the deep blue fire of living, until you become an ocean of light and lie down on the sand of the shore of you in perfect peace. That's a really nice one. It's the brown pelican. It's beautiful. I love pelicans. I saw one actually 2 days ago at my daughter's birthday party, which was at a kind of local animal rescue sanctuary. We do get pelicans flying over here sometimes. The white ones though, not brown ones. It's beautiful. Anyway, some people have mentioned they don't like the text in front of the image, but I like the way the two combine. It's really, really nice. A lot of the poems are about love, like this one, or about friendship. There's a friendship. A friend is a chosen path of light into the dusky hollow of a person, a tender return to the abandoned parts within that can render the old fields of torment Newly ploughed with love. And that's the common bluebird. Yeah, so they're really, really nice. And they're just like a meditative point. I think it's, I'll explain why I haven't been able to draw many cards this month. But I think this would be a really nice thing to do at night before you go to sleep. Like a meditative card. Or even in the morning. But I don't have a lot of time in the morning and it's a bit of a rush, so the evenings are a bit more relaxed for me. So yeah, I think maybe I'm going to try and build that in. I can put it by the side of my bed and just take a card at night or a couple of cards at night to think about, which is, I think, a nice thing to do. The other deck that came in was the Radiant Tarot, and I did a walkthrough of this as well. I've been wanting this, and I did order this month, but I had a Amazon order for some other things un-tarot related, but I needed to spend a certain amount to get free shipping, so I just popped it on there because I've been wanting it for ages. I talked about it in the walkthrough, so I won't go through it, but I will just say the book is amazing, and it's a beautiful deck as well. I absolutely love it, and I've been taking a few cards from this whenever I've had a spare minute, and it's been quite accurate, I have to say. And yeah, and whatever I've read, I've always gone to the creative prompt. It adds a creative practice, and a couple of them have already had me like doing something creative. So me and my daughter made paper flowers the other day based on, I think it was based on the Queen of Pentacles actually, but I'll have to double check. But anyway, it has these really nice like prompts for doing things with creative things. There we go. So creative practice for the Page of Cups. A child's brain is active and adaptable, but as we age, our neuroplasticity will decrease if we don't continue to learn. To have the mind of a child then is not just to have an innocent outlook, but to broaden that fresh outlook with the ability to make new and exciting connections. Oh, sorry about my dirty nails. I've been walking the dogs. The innocent Page of Cups and be the innocent Page of Cups and practice a child mind by choosing any ordinary object such as a coffee cup and examining it as if it were an alien artifact. What is that thing? A dinosaur tooth with a large cavity, a hat for very small heads, a rain shelter for small mammals, a fire pit for burning sacrifices to the ghosts of former pets. Make a list in your creativity journal. That's quite fun. I love this knight. Look at him with his ginormous cup. Anyway, so yeah, the prompts, the creative prompts are brilliant. I love the book. It's just lovely. There's always a little poem to start it off with. The night whispers from its secret lips, moonlight to a person in eclipse. Ooh. I wanted to know about that boat. Moonlight glistens on rippling water, cattails bloom, and on the right we see the bow of a wooden boat. Is a secret traveller rowing this boat? Is it tethered to the stars? Or is something hovering above, holding the line? Mystery. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying this. Very, very glad I got it. It's a pip deck, for those of you who don't like pips. But it's actually an illustrated pip deck, so you do actually get like flowers with the pips or animals, and they in some way seem to speak to the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings, as far as I've seen, but I do want to get into the pips and see if there's a way to read more Marseille type meanings from them. Sorry, just having a sip of coffee. So those were the two decks I got in. There are actually two more that have come, but I'm going to talk about them later because I haven't got around to looking at them yet. So what I've been using, so I had the Zillich tarot in my bag for a while, and it's such a nice, it's a Toth, but it's a pretty Toth. So I was in a place where I didn't really like the Toth art, and this one, I wanted to learn about the Toth system, partly because of the Hebrew letters and the majors. Oh, it's in order. I must have done a walkthrough since. But yeah, I had this in my bag at the start of the month. And, oh, that's right. I put it in order because I was using it with another deck that I'm going to talk about in a bit. I think I've only put the majors in. Oh no, I've put the whole thing in order. So let's just do a quick flick through. But it's very, very nice. I mean, the paintings are absolutely beautiful. And it's kind of a friendly Toth, you know. And the guidebook's actually pretty good. It's got very short explanations. But if you look at, for example, the Emperor, his regent is red Mars. A ruler dwells in the light of the sun. He sits at the window. The esoteric symbol of this image, the window. The colour of his garment symbolised the alchemy for the philosopher's stone, the solar gold. Red is the colour of blood, the warm elixir of life that flows from the heart and throughout the body. As such, the sun spreads its warm light throughout the solar system. She sits firmly at the centre like the heart inside man's chest, like a ruler in his kingdom. For life to thrive requires firmness. The ruler holds the ankh firmly in his hand as a sceptre. In a reading, this ruler conquers all enemies. Thus, this card indicates victory, power, leadership, and control, law and order. However, should he abuse his power, he is a haughty Nero or Nebuchadnezzar, full of presumption and obstinacy. So yeah, it's nice, you know. The booklet's very useful for Toth readings and the symbolism in the images, but the images aren't quite as sort of I find the original, I've found, and I'll talk about that, the original Toth kind of repellent really for a long time, and these ones seem to be much more approachable. Some really nice ones. Chariot with the sun, the way they use light in this deck is beautiful. Lust, which is strength, fortitude. The Hermit's gorgeous. The Wheel. Justice, adjustment. And the Death card, wow, I love that. So beautiful with the butterflies. Not my favourite, Temperance. Anyway, I won't go through the whole deck, but it is... Oh, Queen of Discs, look at her. Yeah, it is a very, very pretty Toth. So I had that in my bag for a while, but then I took it out again. I don't know why. And the deck that I put back in my bag was the same deck I had in last month. And last month I didn't actually get around to using it, but this month I have been using it. And I love this deck. It's so nice. It's the Lombardische Tarot by a German man. Reproduced it, can't remember his name. I'll put it on the screen. But I love the faces in this. So Ina from Taproot Tarot said that the Marshmallow Marseille is based on this deck. And it's so pretty. Look at the little faces. And it's small, it's very pocket-sized. The cardstock's it's thin, but it's nice and flexible and very shuffleable. I'm getting really into the thinner cardstocks again. Yeah, look at that. The Empress. So the original is by Angelo Valla in Trieste, but it's called Lombardy Tarot because apparently this Trieste Tarot follows the Lombardy tradition. They're all very happy little people. I really like it, and I love the colours. I wanted a kind of orange deck, but this is more kind of yellows and blues, but I really like the colours. I'm still looking for a nice orange. I think I found it actually, the new one by the lady who did the Bomazo. She's got a Kickstarter for a new deck and it just looks stunning. It's the Minchiati Leone. Amparo Aguirre. That's her name. I always forget it, but I remembered it. Look at that nice King of Batons. Nice chunky legs. I don't know, I really like this deck. I've been enjoying it. It makes me happy. Don't know what that is. Looks a bit like a stoat. And she's very pretty. Yeah, so this is my deck in my bag for this month as well as for last month. I've been carrying it around with me and very much enjoying it. I think it's still available on I got it from Amazon quite cheaply actually, and yeah, and I saw someone on Instagram said that I'd influenced them and they went off and found a copy as well, so there's still some copies available. It's very old. It's not a recent publication, but yeah, very nice one. I like it a lot. I was influenced to get that one by Ina from Taproot Tarot. Thank you, Ina. Yeah, okay, so that was with a deck in my bag. And then, oh yeah, and then what happened was I started dropm 78. So the dropm 78 is a hashtag. You look at one card in depth for 78 days, every single day, and post something on Instagram or on YouTube. So if you've been bombarded by shorts from me on YouTube, that's why. It's going to go on and on, guys. It's going to go on until New Year's Eve, I'm afraid. So, but just ignore me in your shorts if you don't want to see them. I'm also doing a wrap up at the end of each suit. So I've done one wrap up, which was the discs, the coins, and it's been really interesting. But it is quite hard work, so I haven't really had time since then to look at other decks. I've just been doing the dropm 78. And that I've been doing with Marco Benedetti's reproduction of the Eliphas Levi, which I'll show in a minute. But at the same time as focusing on Marco's deck, I've used other decks to help me to understand Marco's deck. So some of those decks have been the Sambucus Marseille, and I got this specifically for that purpose actually, because this Marseille has the Tree of Life associations on it, which I knew was also the case in the Eliphas Levi deck, so I bought this tarot to help me with the Eliphas Levi. And I really like this I actually really like this tarot, I have to say. It's kind of a very soft linen-y texture. It's not really my art style, but it's very nice to use. It's got this lovely holographic edging. Must be by Suit, look. I'll move the suits around. But it's a really, really nice deck actually. And it's got a lot of information on also the chakras, the planets, and the elements. So there's the planets. So it's useful as a kind of accompanying deck for study, I would say. I haven't used it just, shuffle and draw cards with it. But as for what it is, for a deck which provides those associations, it's quite useful. The only thing is I don't know if it's based on Levy's Tree of Life associations or if it's based on later associations, for example, Crowley. So that is interesting. Then another deck I've been drawing on has been the Atea, and this one is the one by Vieuxmont. And this is the one printed directly from an antique Atea tarot deck. So it allegedly is his own deck, not a deck produced by one of his disciples. Is that the right word? It has the keywords, and I've been checking against the keywords to see if, because Atea preceded Eliphas Levi, and Eliphas Levi drew on some of Atea's stuff for his meanings. So I've been checking this deck to see if there are crossovers in the keywords that Eliphas Levi added to his deck. So that is another deck that I've been using for the study, for study purposes. So I've got to keep it in order because I'm on yesterday was the 5 of batons. That means gold, and that means process. I can't remember what the translation was in French, but it had nothing to do with any of the keywords that Eliphas Levi had put on his deck. So, and then I know from Taproot Tarot is also doing the dropm 78, but she's doing the Dame Fortune's wheel. So I haven't been drawing directly on this, but I've been watching all of her videos, which have been really interesting. There's a lot of interesting ways that the decks cross over. And Paul Hewson for this deck drew on Atea for his minor meanings, and then on French playing card traditions for his courts. So that's also been helpful when I've been watching Ina's videos and Paul Hewson's interpretations of the card meanings and so on. So that's added to my understanding of the Eliphas Levi. There's also been another lady, Megan, she's on Instagram, I don't think she's on YouTube, and she's been looking at the mother piece, and interestingly the mother piece, sometimes the meanings cross over as well with the Eliphas Levi keywords. And then I've also been using the Marseille as kind of a cross-reference. But Eliphas Levi's deck anyway is based on the Marseille, so I've been looking at Marseille meanings to inform my interpretations of Levy's work. So what Levy's deck is, it's the Clavicule de Solomon, the Key of Solomon, and it's basically a reproduction of a Marseille deck plus some additional cards. The Marseille deck was by Suzanne Bernardine. It's a gorgeous Marseille in its own right. And then Levy has written additional words in his own, this is Eliphas Levy's own handwriting, around the borders, and he's sometimes, like the coin suit, he's sometimes drawn like images and planetary associations. There's Venus. So he's done all this sort of additional annotation on the deck. And so what I've been doing is every day looking at a card and trying to trying to figure out what his handwriting is saying. So well, there's only 2 today. So today I'll be doing, looks like labour, which is interesting for the 6, and whatever that says, something fortune. And I'll have a proper look a bit later and then upload like a translation. So a lot of the phrases are in Latin. And then the dropm is you do a definition, you do a detail, and then you relate the meaning in some way to your day if you can. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So that kind of knocked everything else out of the window. I haven't had much time to do anything except that. But because obviously it's such an amazing deck and I'm learning so much from it, this is obviously my deck of the month. It could be nothing else. And it's probably going to be my deck of the month next month as well, because I'm going to be carrying on with the dropm 78 through November and through December. So yeah, I might have a 3-month Eliphas Levi deck of the month. But, you know, maybe I'll try and be interesting. But yeah, it's an absolutely amazing deck. I highly recommend it. It's not just the amazing kind of historical artifactness of it, but Marco's reproduction is incredible, and the ink, the paper, everything. It feels like you're analysing a work of art. It is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, deck of the month, the Eliphas Levi. Next month, yeah, I suddenly want, for some reason, I want a couple of things. I suddenly want a real toss, first of all. So what I was alluding to earlier is that the Zillich got me thinking about toss again, and then I've been watching some videos, and I've suddenly become very keen on the toss pips. They're really interesting, and so I suddenly want the toss for its pips. They're like the original, but I want a good copy. I don't know which one to get. Some of them seem to be a bit paler in the definition of the images, so I'm just trying to find which is the best version, like that's freely available. I'm not going to go paying 200 for a I don't know what you call the old ones, a greenie, that's right. But yeah, so that's something I want to try and track down this month, possibly for pickup in the UK at the end of December, because I'll be visiting my mum again. And then the other thing I suddenly have a craving for is a linen Marseille. I want a linen Marseille for shuffleability, because a lot of these, the big reproduction decks, the paper, there's lots of different types of cardstock, obviously, but the Anima Antiqua cardstock isn't great for shuffling, and I just, for whatever reason, I suddenly want a linen Marseille, like a really good quality cardstock linen Marseille. So one that I've had my eye on is the Gassman by Vieux-Monde. They're the same people that did the Atea. And that seems to be available in a few places, including Oneness Emporium. And that is apparently linen. The only problem with the Gassman Vieux-Monde version is that their version of it has historically somebody has covered up the modesty of some of the people in the cards. So like the world has got a big blanket. They all look like they're in sacks. So I mean, I guess that's good for YouTube, right? Because YouTube keeps putting restrictions on any videos that include decks with nudity, so so maybe I should get it. But if anyone knows of any other really good Marseille tradition decks with linen cardstock. I haven't really been able to find many. There's some nice ones on Make Playing Cards. Nova Mundi has several, and I want a facsimile. She has several facsimiles, but most of them are Italian tradition, and I wanted a French Marseille on linen. French Marseille facsimile on linen cardstock, very specific. And then I've got my eye on the Carlotides for some reason. It looks quite fun, and it's got David Bowie in it, and I like David Bowie. And then the other decks I haven't mentioned, but I did get another couple of decks very recently, which I'll probably feature next month in my wrap up, but they're like comic slash zine decks. So I got the Turning Terrestrial Tides, which is like a zine kind of comic style, and then I got the Disorder, I've got that one here, the Tower of Innocence by Diego Gabrieli, and his style is very much like adult comic style, but there's a lot of nudity in that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it on my channel, but it's a really interesting deck. So yeah, I'm hoping to talk about those in my next month's wrap up. Okay, but apart from that, on with the dropm, and thanks for watching, everybody, and yeah, have a nice month. Bye.